going to show you something. Bang. That is my Stripe, right? Don't know if you can see it. It's a real live Stripe account. But as you can see, yesterday I made £43,700, which is about $50,000. Now I show you that Stripe screenshot not because I'm an insecure ape, though that might be true, but because I want to talk to you about something today, about your relationship with money. For transparency, I do not make $50,000 every day. Not yet, at least. That's the best day I've ever had. And the funny thing about it is it doesn't make me feel in any way, shape or form elated. I'm going to basically walk you through today how I structure my relationship with money and how that structure and that relationship allows me to make so much of it. So like I said, I can show you that again just to show that it is in fact true. Real life Stripe account. This week we did about £113,000, but yesterday we made 50 grand. And that is a lot of money. But here's the thing, it's not. Because to you, you might be salivating over $50,000 in a day. That's enough to buy a C63S AMG. You know what? I saw that. I hadn't noticed because I don't usually check Stripe every day because it makes you quite neurotic. But I was picking up on some stuff on Stripe and I saw we made that much money and I was like, okay, well, let's check it out. And it turns out we made a lot. So for transparency, off the rip, off the bat, that is not a daily occurrence. We don't make 50 grand every single day. Right? Because then that would put us at a pretty good run rate of 1.5 mil. However, eventually we probably will be doing that sort of number. Right now we hover anywhere between like $20,000 to $30,000 a day. That's pretty much what it's like. Maybe a little less than that actually on average, but we're trending upwards, right? But my point, anyway, all of this to say, all this rambling, I want to introduce you to my relationship with money. It's a pretty interesting relationship, and I'm going to share some ideas with you today that will help you reframe how you see money, and basically until you reframe your relationship with the thing, dealing with it and making more of it is going to be hard. It's kind of like with women. Now, I'm not a dating coach, but I'm relatively reasonably good with women, I'd say. And the thing about women is like your relationship with women as a whole, with the female kind, influences how you approach them. Right? Do you approach them with confidence? Are you skeptical? Are you terrified? Are you overcompensating for whatever fucking reason, right? Your relationship with something influences how you approach it. And your approach is the most important thing. Because if you have the wrong approach and you go about it in the completely wrong way, it ain't going to go your way. However, if you do it the right way, you'll be fine. And what determines how we approach something? Our relationship with it. So my name is Charlie Morgan, and I do make a fair bit of money. I don't want to show off my Stripe screenshots and tell you to buy my 997 course. Don't worry, fear not. I do not sell anything that ends in a 7. You'll be very happy to know. But what I do sell is a product that helps people get clients, and that's the product that I've been selling that helps make all this money. I basically built and scaled 2 businesses, an agency to 7 figures called NorthFlow Consulting, and I now run Imperium Acquisition, which is the one you saw just here. Now, the truth is that we actually make a little bit more than this because some of our payments come in through wire transfer, but it's not significant for me to tell you, and I want to be transparent. That 50 grand day is the best day we've ever had in business. Maybe it will happen again in a couple of weeks, but I don't want you thinking we do that every single day because we don't, not yet. Okay, for transparency. Your relationship. So what is a relationship? First of all, let's first principle this out down to the bottom, and let's look at like, because we've got relationship with money, right? So we understand what with means from a first principle perspective. We know that with means like a two-way interaction between 2 entities or things. Pretty simple. But let's actually ask ourselves, what is a relationship, right? Outside of the context of interpersonal relationships, a relationship is the way that you connect with something. It's your paradigm of it, right? It's the way that you see it. It's the way that you believe it behaves and acts. And money, well, money is basically a manifest of exchange, right? It's like money is something that you get if you give something. So really what you're trying to do here is reframe your relationship or reframe the way you see value exchange. Okay. And that's what we're trying to do here. So anyway, all of this is to say, this is my paradigm, this is how it works. You probably have a monetary goal right now. You probably have an objective. And I'm going to hazard a guess that it's $10,000 a month. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. You're probably hovering in that 10 grand a month mark. That's what you want to make. That's your pedestal. That's your be all end all financial goal right now. And I break some news to you. For as long as you see that as a dream or a goal, or for as long as you put that amount of money on a pedestal, you make it infinitely harder to achieve it and actually make that amount of money. Because if I thought $50,000 in a day was a huge amount of money to make, I would put it on a pedestal and I would naturally make it harder to achieve. And this is because of something in psychology called praxis, which basically denotes the premise that we give assent to belief and idea through action. So in layman's terms, what it means is if you believe something is a certain way, you will treat it in that way. And so if you believe that 10 grand a month or 100 grand a month or a billion a month, if you believe it's a lot of money, you will make it a lot of money. And what I mean by that is if you look at 10 grand grand and it's on this pedestal, naturally things that are on pedestals are things that are out of reach. That's why there's a fucking pedestal in the first place. Right? It's like, oh shit, it's like with the woman, for example, if you really love a woman or you really want her and you put her on this pedestal, you naturally create this psychological gap of belief between you and the thing you want. And so of course you're never going to try to reach for it, or if you do try and reach and you don't get it immediately, you'll be like, oh, I fucking knew it. And that's how most people quit, is they set this expectation that what they want is this incredible, amazing thing. But I'm here to tell you that 10 grand a month is fuck all, because what you're doing right now probably is you are measuring the value of financial implication against your own personal life. So you're looking at money as a vehicle for you and you only. And that's why 10 grand a month seems like a lot. Because if you had 10 grand a month, 6 figures, you'd be able to pretty much buy whatever you wanted within reason. You couldn't buy a yacht or a jet, but like most of those things that would, you know, suit the Maslow's hierarchy of needs all the way up to the point of authority and transcendence to a degree would be covered by 10 grand a month. And so naturally, in the sphere of personal gain, 10 grand a month is a lot of money. But if you really want to make a boatload of money, like 50 grand a day or $500,000 every single month, you have to reframe your relationship around it. And you have to stop looking at money as a vehicle for personal gain and more of a vehicle of compounding enterprise value. And basically what that means is I no longer see money as something that I can personally exchange to buy more things or to further my individual wealth. Because there's actually a study, once you get past like $82,000 a year, the correlation between happiness and money falls off, which means more money does actually equal more happiness, but usually only up until about like $80,000 to $100,000 a year, and then it's sort of negligible and there's diminishing returns on the money that you make. If you're looking at your goal right now and you're looking at 10 grand a month and you think like, oh my god, this would be the most amazing thing in the world, what you celebrate is when you celebrate something or when you put something on a pedestal, you naturally limit your ability to achieve it, or if you achieve that, you don't go above and beyond. So I'm no longer in the mindset of celebrating financial goals. And this is a discipline you must instill into your mind, because in order for you to become extremely significant, it might not be your goal. You might just want to make 10 grand a month. That's fine. But if like me, I want to be a fucking billionaire, right? I just want to do it. I want to be a billionaire. And if I want to be a billionaire, my relationship with money has to be totally different to the normal human, because most people see money and their interaction with money is interpersonal. It means I am interacting with the money. But when I look at money now, it's my business interacting with it, not myself. And there's a huge difference between me and the business, because me as an individual, as a normal human with basic Homo sapien needs of protection and warmth and some level of status so I can get some pussy, I only need 10 grand a month to do that. But if I want my business to become this absolute fucking vehicle of mass like market vacuuming destruction, I can't see 10 grand a month as a lot. So 50 grand in a day, usually most people would pop out the champagne and be like, oh my god, we did it, we made it, so I've got a fidget spinner here, by the way. I got a new one because my last one broke and almost killed me. But what I was saying is 50 grand a day, I could celebrate it. I could pop the champagne open, but what you celebrate becomes your natural limit, right? If you book 5 appointments in a day and you think 5 appointments a day is a lot, then that's all you're ever going to book, because your expectation on belief of what value is or what constitutes like success in any realm of human endeavor, little Andrew Tate insert there.
My unmatched perspicacity, coupled with sheer indefatigability, makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor.
Right? So if you think 10 grand a month is a lot, you might figure out how to make it. But your relationship with money is like, okay, well now what? Because when you get to 10 grand a month, you start to realize what's truly possible. And this is the true pain of making a bunch of money, because there's not much pain that comes with it. Well, correction. A lot of pain comes with making it, but in terms of actually building things to create value and receive money in exchange. But my point is that like once you make it, the pain becomes the realization that it's nothing. So if I can make 50 grand in a day, why can't I make 500 grand in a day? You have to understand that money is infinitely abundant to those who understand how to get it, right? And if you want to understand, you have to look no further than how to add value, because money is simply an exchange of value for currency, right? And what is value? Like, how do you create value? Because this is something people talk about a lot, where they're like, you know, if you want to make money, you add value. But then people are left scratching their heads like, what is value? Well, value is created when pain is alleviated. And that's a quote that I came up with in another video. But what it means is like, if you really want to add value to someone's life, you remove pain. So the removal of pain is the addition of value. And what that means, I don't mean physical pain, like, you know, going and rubbing their toe if they stub their toe, although I think you'd probably get arrested if you did that to someone. But I mean painful situations. For example, my company, Imperium Acquisition, we alleviate the pain of client acquisition. If someone buys our thing, after a couple of months, they no longer have the struggle or pains associated with not having any clients. And so we create value and we get paid because people, they buy pain riddance. Like, all products are painkillers if you really critically think about it. For example, I currently have, I don't know if you can see this. Let's tilt the camera around. Oh, this is a bit of a, so I have this, you see that there? That thing that's hanging up on those doors, right? That's a blanket, right? Now, you might look at that and it's a blanket on two doors because I want the acoustics in this room to be reasonable so you don't leave with bleeding ears. But most of the time, you're going to buy a blanket for warmth, right? So the way that I look at this is like, you might think, Charlie, that's just a blanket. That's not, how's that a fucking pain? How's that a painkiller? How's that a product that kills pain? But you ask yourself, well, why do you buy a blanket? Well, because it keeps you warm at night. So if you don't have a blanket, you'll be cold. Being cold is quite painful physically, but mainly psychologically. You're kind of bitter that you're cold, right? So you buy the blanket to alleviate the pain, and through the buying, you exchange money for the value, right? And so that's how this all ties in. If you want to make a bunch of money, you just have to add value, and value is created when pain is alleviated. It's the cornerstone of my entire business paradigm. Someone's like, how do I start a business? How do I make money? I don't have any ideas. It's like, yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say, but you're not going to come up with an idea. Like, ideas don't just come out of nowhere in the shower, like brilliant billion-dollar ideas. They do, but extremely rarely. What you want to go looking for instead is problems that people have that you can execute on. Because if you can dredge up pain in someone, and you can say, look, if you buy this, the pain will be gone. If there's enough intensity of pain, people will invest and purchase. And then if you can deliver value and you can keep the promise to alleviate the pain and keep the pain at bay, people will keep paying you. It's the whole point of a digital marketing agency. Business owners don't have enough customers. It's extremely painful. It impacts, like, this is why the SMMA thing is so big, because every business owner needs more customers. It's like, if you started an agency where, for example, I've got a friend called Arturo, awesome guy. You might be familiar with his channel, Arturo Durati, I think his surname is. He has an agency where he provides lawyers with virtual assistants. And that's a really good niche. A lot of people buy it, but you could never have like a massive VA providing niche because not every business owner needs virtual assistants, right? But my point here is, like, if you're looking to make money, you want to make a bunch of money, don't go for the money. Don't aim for money. First of all, don't put it on a pedestal, because I can tell you that 10 grand a month is fucking easy. And you in your current state might find it difficult, but all you have to do is become the person that can make it easy through lots of work, and you will figure it out. Trust me, if you pick one niche and one problem and you solve it really well and you become good at communicating that solution, and you do that for 2 to 3 years, even 18 months even, you will make 10 grand a month. You pick a niche, you pick a problem, you solve that problem better than anyone else, and you communicate it well, and you create a good offer around it. That's all you need to do. Do it for 2 years. If that doesn't work, you can come back and you can come ransack my house and tell me I was wrong. That's how I did it, and that's how everybody does it. Just one thing, one problem, one solution, getting really good, communicating it well, done. And if you do it in a niche or a space that isn't constantly saturated, like if you go into e-com, for example, you're kind of fucked before you even start because of how many people are doing it, but story for another day. So back to this relationship thing, right? So that's the first facet of the relationship with money, is like, if you put your goal on a pedestal, if you see it as something that is like, if your relationship with 10 grand a month or 100 grand a month is, if you see it as a lot of money, then it will manifest to you as difficult to get. So that is exactly how it works. It's the same with anything. If you were going to the gym, for example, and you wanted to get to 100 kilograms, 9% body fat, if you put that on a pedestal, and if you think that is like a really peak physical condition, if you think that is peak physical condition and it's going to be really hard to get it, then you'll make it hard, because you have no choice, and it probably will be hard to get objectively, against the true nature of reality. It's not going to be a painless task. But the point I'm trying to make is, you need to correct your relationship with money. You need screenshots, but let me show you again. But you need someone to show you shit like this, right? Let's just let it focus, where we're doing, like, you can see it's a real live Stripe account, where you're doing someone similar age to you is doing 100 grand a week, and you can't even figure out how to make 1,000 a month. And that's not an insult, but you need people or someone like myself to show you, look, it is possible. Because if I can do it, anyone can do it. Because it's not like it's me. It's not like I'm just some sort of magical talent. I just figured out a lot of stuff and solved a lot of problems. And what that means is, like, there's proof of concept to do with making a lot of money, and it's not about you or anyone. It's about the fact that there is opportunity that can be executed on, and problems that have solutions that have already been executed on. And all you have to do is follow in the footsteps of people that have already done it, and you'll have the same result. It's not about the individual, it's about the model. And the individual, the only thing that matters when the person executing on it, the only thing that matters to that person is how willing they are to keep going and never quit. because that's really the only differentiator is if you quit, you fail, right? You can't fail if you don't quit. So that's something that I learned recently, and that's something that I wanted to share with you because I looked at that screenshot and I was like, okay, I need to make a video on this, but I'm not sure where. I didn't really have a plan for this video before I even started recording, and maybe at points you've been able to tell that, to slap on the wrist to me there, but I think you can sort of get the point I'm trying to get across. It's not hard. And I say that as someone who has made it easy. To me, 7 years ago, it was hard. I found it very difficult to make money. But I can tell you, now that I've sussed it out, really, you're only 5 years of pain away from making 50 grand a day if you do things in the right way. How do you know if you're doing things in the right way? Well, you have mentors, you listen to people who are doing what you want to do. It's the most obvious and fastest way to get what you want. It's just pay someone who's already done it. And I'm not going to plug my course or advocate anything here, don't worry. That's how I did it. It's just like, I was like, right, what's the biggest problem I've got? This, okay, who am I going to learn from? This person, okay, buy their thing, done. If you like the video, you can like it. There's a button. If you click it, it'll make my day. And it will also show you more videos like this to help you make more money. You can comment anything you want to comment. And if you subscribe, it will make me really happy. I said I wasn't going to plug my course. I'm not going to, other than this, click away if you don't want to be pitched. Just see that little back button up there. Just click it. I don't really mind. If you want to get more clients, click the first thing in the description. Doesn't matter if you do or not. It's just there if you want to. All right. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Go make some bread.